to a show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Mats Podcast. And it's me, it's Dante. It's always Dante. I've considered loaning the podcast out to some people just because I'm lazy, but ultimately, no. I did it with the horror podcast once, and I'm going to do it again. But Off the Mats, it's always going to be me. I don't know. I got to tell you all that. So anyway, for this episode, I actually wanted to have on another fellow podcaster and grappler. But this time we went international on this one. So the last one I got somebody out in California that was actually from Maryland, where I'm at. But this one, I went all the way out to Ireland. I didn't physically go to Ireland. I reached out though. So I want to have on this show today, I want to welcome on the show today, the host of the Humanzi. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Look, dude, I told you, I know how to read the Humanzi Jitsu podcast. Mr. Andrew Quinn. What's up, Andrew? How you feeling, man?
Yeah, what's cooking, man? I'll tell you this, man. You're way better intros than I am. I'm so bad with them. My first ever podcast intro was, "What's up?" I was like, I know that was 5 years ago. I'm still cringing about it.
Dude, I cringe every time I do it. It's like every episode I'm just like, hey guys, what's up? And like, hi. Like, whereas like I know other podcasts, they have like legit intros.
Or here, I'll respect the guys who have it pre-recorded and just like start the episodes seamlessly. I respect that. But I think what's it called? But again, one of the things I was very bad at was the ad reads because oh my god, I'd record them separately because I would like sort of mess with the flow of the episode. Because like if we're talking about just to inform the people of what we were talking about before we start recording. Like one of the things was the merits of robot hands versus robot arms. So if we're talking about that, and then it's like, so anyways, guys, this episode's sponsored by blah, 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 blah. Sorry. So it was just mess with it. Yeah, mess. It was like, got the flow with the go or something or whatever your man Hickson says. I don't know.
Like when for my horror podcast, my wife, I would have her do the ad reads. Like I would just give her the script, let her read it, and because she's like, like eloquent and proper. Like if I'm reading a script, like, dude, I just can't. I wouldn't take it serious. But she hit that shit perfect. Whereas when I did it, I was making fun of it the whole time. I was like, dude, I can't do this.
All right. I would love to do it super sarcastically. I just have the list. There's like, oh, so we sell premium kimonos, and high quality nogi apparel. Yeah, sure you do, buddy. I say this when I got a new gear sponsor. It's not about them, I swear.
I'm just trying to see if I can get that Blue Chew sponsorship. I just want to do a Blue Chew advertisement. I might just do a Blue Chew ad and not even be sponsored by them. I just want to like, look, man, like if you chew on this blue gummy, you get a boner. It's gonna be good, and you're gonna enjoy it. Knock yourself out.
I'll tell you this. Funnily enough, I've never actually seen a packet of Viagra my entire life because obviously, I'm a young, virile man. But I was walking down the street and I seen like a discarded box of Viagra. I was like, man, I've never actually seen that before in my life. Occasionally you get hit with things where you're like, oh yeah, I've never seen that before in my entire life, and that was one of them.
Like I always I listen to what is it? Is it Brilliant Idiots or Flagrant? One of the two with comedian Andrew Schultz, and they always do the Blue Chew ads. And I'm like, dude, I want to do a Blue Chew ad. Like, just like, how do I get in on this? Like, and then like if I do the ad, it's like can I do it the way I want to do it, or like because it sounds like they just say what they want. So I'm like, I think I could do that.
Or a very good example of really good ad reads. If you want to look up the Internet Historian later, he has like really good ad reads for Raid Shadow Legends and all this, and Raycon earbuds and stuff. They're comedy gold, and like usually, obviously, we're all friends here. I think I can speak candidly as an internet user. I think we all skip the ad reads. Like let's lots of people. Yeah. If I'm watching a video or a podcast, like I think we can all agree on that. But these ones, they're actually really funny, so you would actually want to watch them. I was like, this is fucking hilarious, buddy.
Yeah, if you do an ad in the middle of the show, It's like I could see sometimes it'll say like Spotify or whatever. I know I can skip those because it'll drop me right back to the show. But if it says the show name, it's tough because if I'm skipping through it, I might like skip past, them coming back. So it's tricky. But yeah, if you do your ads at the beginning or the end, chances are I'm probably I'm probably skipping it. But like also too, it's like, like just I don't know, like Joe Rogan, I guess he like drops them in the middle of the show now or something. So it's kind of like, hit me with the okie doke, you got me. But if you do it at the beginning or the end, I'm gonna miss it.
Now, to be fair, like when I do ad reads, I haven't done one in a while because it's been a few months. It's been like a while since I've done an episode. What's it called? I only do them because like I have the perspective is like I listen to podcasts and I'll do them. I only put them at the start and at the end because again, if I'm listening to something and I put one in the middle, I'm like, fuck's sake, because like usually I'm doing something like I'm playing games or on the rare occasion I actually lift weights, very rare, or do yoga. I have my earphones in, I have my phone down, I'm doing something, and then the ad comes on. I'm like, fuck's sake, I stop what I'm doing, get my phone out, open it, skip. But it's like, it's a nuisance. I know it's a very first world problem, but like, woe is me.
Well, the whole thing with first world problems, though, is like, look, it's still a problem. It's our problem. Like, it was like if a billionaire has a yacht and he you put the wrong fuel in that yacht, it's like, oh, well, poor you. It's like, that's still a big fucking problem. So it's like, look, like I fucks with first world problems because like, look, if like, I mean, same deal. If I'm listening to some shit, you want to keep your routine. You don't want to have to break the course, the skip ads. So just put them at the beginning, put them at the end, like, so that way I know where they're at.
Or what I got, I swear this will be about jiu-jitsu in a second, people, but what I got on my phone, I got this thing, YouTube Vanced, where it automatically skips all the ads, all the filler, all the everything. You can play the apps in the background. It's awesome. Like, sorry everyone. I'll be coughing the odd time because I've only just gone over a cold. So, you have to forgive my terrible coughing and my foul language and my terrible puns. So, guys, we got a good episode in the works there.
It's authentic. So a big part of why I wanted to have Andrew on here is like, yes, Andrew does jiu-jitsu, and even though I guess this is a jiu-jitsu podcast, I don't really know. I mean, I have a lot of jiu-jitsu folks on here, but also have folks that just do other stuff, and sometimes we talk comic books. So it's just a fun podcast. That's what it is. But I did want to have him on here because Andrew is a grappler, purple belt, right?
Yeah.
You just competed recently. So, wanted to talk about your jiu-jitsu, wanted to talk about your competition, how things went there, and also wanted to talk about some podcasts and stuff, and just really like, I like talking to other podcasters because I like to know your experiences as we just talked about the ad reading and stuff. That's a big thing there. And just in general, doing podding. But I guess to start off, really, I want to ask you first off, like, how what's the jiu-jitsu scene like over there in Ireland for you?
I tell you this, it's pretty good. Like obviously we're a very small country, so there's sports are a very big thing in Ireland. Obviously, people are very big into rugby, soccer. We have our own this other sport, hurling, and like, to be fair, there's actually, if you look at Ireland, they've actually produced like some very good athletes. Like if you look at like Olympic medalists and stuff, like a good few, there's a lot of Irish people who got like Olympic medals and stuff. And what's it called? Obviously we like there was like zero wrestling here, so like grappling wasn't really a thing. There's some old Irish weird martial art like collar and sleeve wrestling and stuff where they're wearing like a jacket. It's like drunken judo because it's Ireland. And what's it called? We're not beating the allegations here, but what's it called? Honestly, the jiu-jitsu is pretty good here. Like, we have, so, we've had some people, like I say we, like it's fucking people I train with. There actually are like 70 plus gyms in Ireland, and I've sometimes not trained with some of these people. I think we've had two people make it to ADCC in Ireland, and like that one was there in 2019. That's my coach, Tom Halpin, and there in 2022 was Sam McNally, another great guy. I've trained with him a few times. He's fucking very good. But I'm not like a pro athlete by any stretch. I'm very I've won this, I've won that, but like I'm not a pro by any fucking stretch. I'm very hobbyist guy. Like I train a lot. Like, you know, I want to make jiu-jitsu my job one day, but like I don't get paid I get paid a little money to do it because I teach classes and do this and that and run privates. But like it's pretty weird because like what's it? Okay, so when I was starting off, okay, white belt, I do middleweight. So middleweight white belt, adult division is the biggest division in Ireland. Like we've all seen the memes, like that's the most, because you know it's like, oh, you're this weight, you're that belt, you have 30 people in your bracket. Awesome. I used to complain about that a lot because I was like, man, I would win like a few matches. I get no medals because I lost in this match and this and that, and this other people would get like one match and they'd get a gold medal, or two matches and a gold medal. I'm like, man, I won more matches than you, but I have no fucking medal. Like, fuck this. Like, or at blue belt as well. That was a real fucking pain. Blue belt was pretty fucking stacked as well. That was a nuisance. Like, I know the antidote to that was just to get better at fucking jiu-jitsu, but like, you know, it's a nuisance having to do 6 fucking matches in a row. Like, you know, what was me? I get more matches. I used to complain about that so much, but now as a purple belt, and mind you, I'm still in the adult division because like I'm 25, like I'm not old by any stretch. So like, fair enough, you'd understand if it was Masters 1 or 2, why there'd be less guys signed up to this purple belts, brown belts. Like, fair enough, like you all understand that. But man, like just there's very small divisions, and like even the local tournaments in white and blue belts, you get a lot of entries. But then like for purple belt, there's like none, and I'm like, and comps have got more expensive. Like I've been competing for 7 years, and like comps are getting pretty pricey. And like I don't want to pay 80 euros or 90 euros or whatever for one match potentially. I'm like, I think that's the other reason. I think that's probably everyone else's sentiments as well. Right now, I'm just rambling.
No, that is a big thing though, because I remember when I started, you know, like a competition might be, you know, $80, you know, $80 over here. And it's like, that's not hateful, but then like shortly thereafter, that price went up to like, I want to say 110. I was like, huh, that's a $30 increase. Like, this is a short amount of time. And then, you know, the prices, and then COVID happens, and then now the prices are just, it's like when I hear teammates competed and they're traveling. It's like, dude, like I love jiu-jitsu. I do. I'm a hobbyist. I don't compete. I love doing it though. But if you're paying to like fly out to Vegas, or you're flying out to Florida, or you're flying to California, and then you're also paying for the comp and you know all this shit, like you love like you love the game. I don't love the game that much.
Yeah. Well, man, what's it called? I was, okay, speaking of which, I nearly went to Worlds there, but like I'm very financially irresponsible. I'm very bad at money. And I thought I could budget it properly, but I'm just like, oh no, I can't go to Worlds because I'm a retard of money. But no, I managed actually. I never done a major tournament up until just there in October. I'd done Nogi Euros, and just there, man, I spent, man, it was, okay, mind you, I wasn't too bad with it. I didn't spend that much money. Like, you know, I split the place with this guy and that guy. We managed to get deals on flights, and Rome was actually not that expensive because it wasn't the peak travel season. So, you know, it wasn't that bad, but like I still spent like over $1,000, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Yeah, that's one of the things right now when I look at like, you know, like I meet so many different people through this platform, you know, so it's like I want to meet my friends, you know, I want to meet some of these folks, and like a lot of them live in California. I was like, oh, you know, there's one guy, he runs a tournament called Arte Suave Elites, and he has like the championship belts, and one of the belts has the BJJ Wiki logo on it. And my teammate saw that. He was like, I want to win that belt. Like, I want that belt. I was like, we got to go sign up for this tournament. So, you know, I talked to Fredo, and he's like, yeah, I mean, you guys can, if you're going to do it, just let me know, blah, blah, blah. And my teammate keeps leaning on me like, yo, when are we got to organize this trip, yo, when are we going? I'm like, son, like I don't have money. Like my car just like died the other day, and it was like these like I got other, I can't just like, hop out and go. It's like, I mean, if you want, like, I don't know, I don't even fucking know. There are no options. But it's like the traveling ideal. It's like I would love to go, even not even just to compete, but like go support my team at some of these tournaments and just be down there, with them. But it's like, damn, dude, like it costs how much to get there? Like y'all flying. Oh, damn. Like y'all know cars exist, right? Like we can
Yeah.
get some horses.
Or even just a bicycle or a skateboard. Or rollerblades.
I'm open.
Or man. Oh, it's like sorry about that. Man, I've been to some shitey airports in my day, but I cannot even fathom. I've never been to America, and that's I'm kind of glad for one reason. Okay, I'm sure America's great, not shitting on. It's just the airports. I keep hearing so many bad things with the fucking airports in America. It's like,
really,
yeah. Like honestly, it's like how long it takes to get through a thing. Like I heard the TSA people, they're fucking, they're very not nice. That's me putting it mildly. That they're very not nice. And yeah, the price of things will make you have a fucking heart attack. So, then you'll have to fly your body home, which is a whole other fucking kettle of fish. But let's not talk about that.
yeah. Like actually, I haven't. When was the last time I traveled? I don't know, what year are we in? 25. So I haven't traveled. I haven't been on an airplane in 15 years. Now that I think about it,
Damn, bro.
Like I mean, I just don't go places. I mean, we go local. We go where we can drive. I go up to Michigan. That's a 10-hour drive. So but yeah, last time we traveled, it wasn't too bad. But and I don't know how it is now. But yeah, the TSA stuff. It's like, look, man. I know you're just doing your job, but it's like in all this time that y'all been doing this, y'all ain't found nothing. Like at some point, you got to kind of like readjust things and kind of.
It's like the old George Carlin bit is like, here the terrorists know that they're not able to bring their bombs through the fucking security. They know that, so they're bringing their bombs somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like get ahead of them. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's definitely a deterrent for sure. And then yeah, it's expensive. Just like money is like everything. It's like, hey, you come over here. The whole thing with taxes. It's like, hey, this bottle of water is $1.99, and then you go to the register with $1.99. It's like, just kidding. It's 2 and some change. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. What about this $1.99 sticker? Like, I bought it because of this.
Yeah, I honestly, my friends were complaining. My friends were just at the World's Fair, and they were complaining about the what's it called, about the sales tax and stuff. Like, honestly, I just prefer if they just included it, because then you wouldn't have that thing. Like, you wouldn't, like, if it was just said it was two something, like 220 for the sake of argument, you'd be like, okay, grand, let's pay 220. But it's just the bamboozlement. That's the term. Mm-hmm. The bamboozlement of thinking it's 199, and then having that hope and intrigue and the optimism of youth dragged away from you. It's sad to see.
I try to explain it to my daughter when she wants to get a toy, and she's like, "Oh, I have however many dollars." And like, and the thing is, they'll say like, let's say $8.99. So for a kid, they see the 8. That's all they see is the 8, and they're excited. I got $8. So, honey, you're gonna need $9. Actually, you're gonna probably need $10 just to be safe. But it says $8.99. It's like, okay, so. All right, let's go ahead and sit down here on the floor in the store real quick. We're going to go over a little lesson.
So I'm gonna tell you why we should topple the government real quick.
The next thing you know, my daughter's like running around, like screaming, down with the system. I was like, oh,
she's like, tread on them.
like free Luigi. Like, yo, chill, little kid. Like, why are you saying these things?
Yeah, man. Oh man, that's fair. That was fair funny. That situation was that was very whack. But you gotta love social media though, with instances like that where everyone's just like, oh yeah, this guy shot a guy, and here's what we all think. I'm like, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we were just talking about this right after class today. We're training, and then the topic came up, and it was like, look, man, I don't got no dog in any of these fights. All I got is memes. and I'm just here like it is like how like you can't laugh at someone being shot. I can laugh at a lot of things.
Dude,
Trust
100% you can, man. Sometimes someone getting shot, if you put like Looney Tunes sound effects over someone's getting shot, it's pretty fucking funny. Obviously, I don't like people getting shot. I'm not a psychopath.
no.
I was tested, but like, what's it called? Yeah, like if something's funny, it's fucking funny. Like,
Yeah, and that's always my things. Like you got to find the humor in situations. I know people are like, well, not every situation has humor. If you try hard enough, you can find something funny. And it's like in the whole CEO thing. It's like I'm not, I don't agree. Let's not go killing people. That's not okay. But the way that they caught the dude is like, oh, they caught him at McDonald's and the McRib just came back. This dude got toppled by the McRib. Like he would have got away with it if it weren't for the McRib. Shit like that. It's like
just saying, if he went to Burger King or KFC, they wouldn't have fucking snitched on him. Just saying.
If he would have gone to Waffle House, they would have actually helped him fucking bury the body. Like it's like shit like that, and people are like, you can't laugh at that. And it's like, no, it's funny. So at least to me,
that whole thing is like, here, look, okay, there's a few ways to look at it. It's like, obviously you shouldn't kill people, like, obviously, unless like they're trying to kill you, you shouldn't go killing people. Obviously, someone breaks into my house, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna kill you, man. You're broken into my house trying to fuck with me, so goodbye. What's it called? Like, let's be real. I've never broken into anyone's house, and surprisingly, I'm still alive. So it's funny how that works. But like, I don't know, man. It's just kind of like, you're setting, if you kill people for this, you're setting your, like, whatever Luigi believes, this or that. You're setting your argument and your belief system and your group back. You're making yourselves look bad. Like, I don't know, say you wanted, I don't know, like say I wanted fucking no taxes, or this part of Ireland to be declared an independent state or something, and I go killing people. Even if my argument is good, people are going to think I'm a maniac, so I went killing people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not a good look.
Yeah, like just have a better, you got to get into the fight and do it the right way. And I know people will say, well, like, we've been fighting for years and nothing's changed. It's like, I mean, are you personally doing it though? Because I mean, I don't think shooting somebody, like, because I mean, the thing is, him shooting the CEO, nothing's changed. My insurance still sucks. Like,
again, I'll say this. Like, okay, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. I'm like, here, man, you can't really be.
I understand.
Like, you can't be surprised. Like, if I was carrying on, like this dude was carrying on, the last thing I'd be surprised by is some dude shooting me, because I'm like, buddy, come on, like, don't carry on like that. Again, to get back to the whole, I'm just saying, I've never been a healthcare CEO, and I've never raised premiums on people or not given sick family members their medicine, and I'm still alive. So it's funny how that works.
Yeah, it's just it's like if you don't do the things, you tend to be okay. So, and I haven't done the things.
Yeah.
This episode, I can just already see is going to be very unique.
Yeah. There's been about 2 minutes of jiu-jitsu talk, but I'm like, here, man, just memes. Speaking of memes, like I used to run that meme account, Humanzi Jitsu. It was like Humanzi Jitsu, the Humanzi Jitsu podcast. Man, it was actually funny for a while. I was running that since I was since the late days of my white belt days. And what's it called? It was actually a bit of a meme going, like, people would just call me Humanzi when they see me at tournaments or see me in person. It was to the point, it's like, a lot of people didn't know what my real fucking name was. And like, I sort of leaned into it for a while, like sort of acted like a bit of a fucking ape man or something the odd time. And then I'm like, that's when I was like 18, 19, and I'm fucking 25 now. So I'm not really leaning into it anymore. I'm like, here, man, I am nearly, okay, I'll be 30 in 5 fucking years, and I don't want to be known as the guy who's the monkey man. Like, people still call me it, but it's, it's a fucking, term of endearment. But I'm like, I don't be carrying on like a fucking monkey man anymore. That was, I just remember that.
Yeah, there's like a growth that comes about, your evolution, for lack of a better term there. But people still want to hold you there. It's like, oh, well, you were that Humanzi guy. It's like, I mean, yeah, My name's Andrew, though.
Yeah. Oh, big rand. Or okay, the reason, okay, so I got the many accounts, man, and I've said this before. So I got the Limerick Globetrotter. That's like my normal main account. It wasn't going to be jiu-jitsu related for a while, but then I was like, okay, I'll make a new jiu-jitsu account and just make memes for Human Jiu-Jitsu. It was because, sorry, what's it called? Oh yeah, I was doing online dating at the time, and you have to link your Instagram to this thing or that thing. I was like, maybe I shouldn't link Human Jiu-Jitsu to my fucking Tinder. So when people click onto it, they'll see, again, a monkey man meme thing about Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not a good look.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah. Well, it doesn't help matters now because they click on it and they're like, they see all the weird Jiu-Jitsu stuff and they're like, so you grapple sweaty men for fun? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, like, are you sure you're not insane? Like, I mean, so far so good.
No, man. Be grand.
I don't know.
Here, man. If I knew how to talk to women, I wouldn't need jiu-jitsu, and that's a fact.
Yeah, I like, look, I'm coming up on 25 years with my wife, and I couldn't imagine being single at all. Like, it like I look at my buddy, like when he talks about it, I'm just like, dude, that shit sounds like a nightmare.
Bro. It's hard out there.
Like, I just, like, after we get done talking, I go to my wife and I'm like, thank you.
Oh, bro, man, it's funny, but like, oh man, I think about, like, if you think about like 30 or something years ago, people my age were married, had children, and had houses, and I was like, hey man, I don't even have a driver's license yet. My fucking test gets rescheduled all the fucking time.
Yeah, like, I always talk about how if you go back 20 years ago, I'm 46. If you go back 20 years ago, 46-year-old dudes ain't doing jiu-jitsu unless they've been doing jiu-jitsu all their lives already. Like, you're not stepping into jiu-jitsu in your late 30s. You're not, I also collect action figures, so it's like, if this was 20 years ago, like, yeah, that's weird. I mean, I think people still look at it like that's weird, but it's less weird now than it would have been back in 2005. They were like, hey, so you are a grown-ass man in the toy section here. We need to have you talk to security. Like, now,
man, they just dropped the new Ninja Turtle thing. Like, come on, I want the new Ninja Turtle. What you want from me?
I mean, and that's legit. It's like, maybe I wouldn't be here if you motherfuckers stocked your shelves right. I can just get my shit and go.
To be fair, I just buy a few figurines here and there, just put them on my shelf. It just depends on what it is. But like, what's it? Like, if someone give me one for Christmas, to give me a little Geralt of Rivia figure for Christmas, like, here, I'll take that. How bad? Or this tiny chibi Broly fucking spazzing out with his fucking Super Saiyan rage or something. Again with the coffin, fucking hell. But man, but here, I won't begrudge anyone for their hobbies, like yourself with collecting action figures. I'm like, here, you do, man. Some of them look pretty fucking cool, especially if they have the, like, I'll tell you this. Well, I remember my first ever job when I was like 18. My first paycheck, I got so much, like, I was like, in disbelief. I was like, how much is my account? Like, oh, this much. Is like, can I take out like a couple €100? They're like, yeah. I was like, awesome. And the first things I bought, I went to GameStop when they were still open, and they had like this old school Jason Voorhees figure with a bunch of different weapons from the movies and all this shit. I was like, that's fucking cool. I'm getting that, man.
Yeah, my wife, first off, like, my wife buys a lot of my figures, which is crazy. Which again is another, thank you. Like, because that's the whole thing about me, is like, if I were single, it's like, I'd just comfortably stay single. But also too, is like, get into a relationship, I gotta, like, I'm bringing in baggage, I'm bringing in plastic with me, I'm bringing in Black Panther, I'm bringing in Deadpool. It's like that I don't think that goes over well. Maybe the third date you kind of bring it up. It's like, so yeah, I got a basement full of plastic. It's like, what are you like Dexter? You fucking kill people? Like, no, action figures, like plastic action figures. They're like, oh, that's worse.
I fucking knew you were gonna say that. Okay, I'll tell you this. It's a way easier sales pitch if they're not. Okay, it's hit or miss with the anime figures, but so long as they're not the busty anime figures, I think you're fine. If it was just Goku or something, you'd be like, okay, fine, you could get over it. But if it was like all the girls from One Piece with like accentuated figures, you'd be like, yeah, I don't think I want a fourth date.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like there's lots of different things that go on, in all of that. But in all reality, it's like you said, I don't begrudge anybody for their hobbies. It's like if this is the thing that you do that makes you happy and it's not hurting anyone, like be happy. I want everybody to be happy. So go buy, action figures, go do jujitsu, go watch the Kardashians, go do whatever the fuck makes you happy.
Let's not get ahead of it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with the whole Kardashian thing. Let's not get. I think I'll retract my statement of begrudging people. Because some fucking bastard was using my Disney Plus to watch the Kardashians, and then when I was watching it, then when I was on my Disney Plus, it's like, who the fuck is watching this shit on my fucking name? Who the fuck is doing this?
Someone did that. I can't remember. Was it my Netflix? They were watching. I can't remember what they were watching, but this was before. This was like kind of in the early days before you could have like your separate profiles. So, like, I think it was like right when the separate profiles started. So my wife had a profile, I had a profile. Then my friend, I believe, was using my profile and watching some nonsense show. And I was just like, I got mad. I was like, I don't want this on like make your own profile. And like she had a smart TV, but she couldn't make a profile from her smart TV. And it never occurred to me to make a profile for her. I don't know why. I just thought of that now. Like I should have just made her own profile. But
man,
the solution
that's not your responsibility, bro.
Like my solution was I just changed the password.
I
was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. So yeah,
fair enough, man.
A little slow.
That was the right move, man. I won't argue with it.
Yeah, I mean, eventually she went on and got her own Netflix, and then I got her password and then canceled mine. So, like, look, fucking retrospect, it was a win. All right,
a win is a win, bro. A win is a win.
So yeah, all right. All right. Let's steer back to jiu-jitsu because I'm fucking up here. So what got you on the mats in the first place?
Yeah, so basically, like I said, with Ireland, like it's very sporty country. I was like, I didn't really do many sports growing up. I didn't really have much confidence. This isn't like a tragic backstory. It was just like, it was a bit of a waster. Didn't really do much of myself. And then like I'd done an MMA class. My brother was doing MMA at the time, and I was like, I was trying to just weasel out of it. I was like, oh, I just want to do the grappling. And then my dad found me a place where they're doing grappling, and I just fucking started. I never stopped. I was like, here, this is fucking decent. Because, I love doing it. It's a bit of problem solving. And I didn't do much physical activity, so I lost. It wasn't really fat. I was just like normal sized. But, I got in a bit of better shape and made some friends because I didn't have that many friends growing up. So, it's been in March, late March, it'll be 8 years since I started. Yeah, 8 years.
That's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think that's one of those things though too is like the community, like you said, it's like you make the friends there and everything, and also you get in better shape. And I think that's always one of those things that I feel like we look at it differently now, but I think for a little while that was something that was kind of overlooked, was the community, that you build in jiu-jitsu, whether it be with the whole gym or a select group in the gym, even hell, like with social media, a lot of my connections are jiu-jitsu folks from Instagram, and then tie that back into the gym.
Yeah, I tell you what as well. Do you know what's the funniest phenomenon? It's this is an Irish thing and a jiu-jitsu thing. So it's specifically an Irish jiu-jitsu thing. It's it's an Irish thing where it's, if you know somebody that I know, you and I are instantly going to be friends. It's like, do you know your man? Do you know your man Jimmy? Oh, I know Jimmy. I also know Jimmy. Okay, we're friends now. You're instantly like, you skip past like a whole stage of friendship, and you're just friendly and having the crack and doing this and making terribly off-color jokes, which are like instantly. It's like, if this guy clicks with this friend of mine, he's probably going to click with me, and we're just friends straight away. And that goes double so for jiu-jitsu, because we actually had this fella move over to our gym recently. He was from like a couple hours away, these other gyms. He moved down to our city for work, and he's like, "Oh yeah, guys, I train at this gym. I'm friends with so and so who trains here, who used to train here. Can I train here?" And we're like, "Yeah, dude, you're fucking in, man." Like, we're instantly got on with him, because he's like, "I trained here. I trained to this guy. You all know him." It's like, this sounds pretty shallow, but it's like, we get out with everyone, but it's just easier to get out with people that tangentially.
Yes. There's a couple years back, I have a buddy who does another podcast called Nerd Rage Radio, and he's built a community within that podcast world, YouTube world, where he has this party every year called Skullfest, because he goes by the name online Bobby Skullface. So I get a text from his wife one day leading up to the party. She goes, "Bobby says there's a guy from Ireland coming through. He does jiu-jitsu. He wants to meet you."
Oh man.
And I was like, fucking bet, I'm in. Like, tell Bobby to tell that dude that I'm bringing gear. Like we're gonna roll. I get a text 10 minutes later. Bobby says, "Do not bring your gear." I was like, "Oh fuck." So I get there to the party, and I don't even know what this dude looks like. I'm just looking. I'm like, I'm not sure what the fuck I'm looking for, but I'm walking through, and this bald-headed dude with glasses and a kilt on stands up. He goes, "Dante." I was like, "Alan?" And it is like, from there, it was just like best friends. We spent the whole day, just like the rest of the party, attached at the hip, talking jiu-jitsu, talking action figures, just talking life. And then he came back through this last year for the party, and it was kind of like automatic. Like, "All right, you're coming through. All right, bet." This time I did bring gear. I put two gis in the trunk. I had belts. I brought no gi gear. I was ready. So we went downstairs. We recorded a podcast episode. We're chatting it up. We talked to another guy there who was interested in jiu-jitsu. So I was like, "Hey, I got two gis in the trunk right now. Listen." And like he brought his belt. He's a purple belt. He brought his belt, and I was like, word. So I run out to the car. I grab the gear. I'd never seen a man change like it was like Superman in the phone booth. He went into the bathroom and came out less than a minute later, fully like geared up, belt tied. And I was like, holy shit. Like, this is amazing. Of course, before we got the roll, the wife catches us. She's like, "Absolutely not. No." No. And house rules. So, but then I go over to Bobby, and he's on the grill, he's cooking. And I go, "Hey, so," he's like, "Laura just came out and said something. I'm gonna suggest no, because Laura said no." I was like, fair enough. All right. I mean, it wasn't gonna be anyway. Like, we were gonna go out in the field. He was like, "Yeah," no. And then he brought the point, was like, "Yeah, but the neighbors already complain about this party every year. Now if they see two dudes fighting in pajamas in the open field, probably not a good look."
You can always go out into the streets, because jiu-jitsu works there, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. Don't pull guard though. don't try to bolo or nothing. But yeah, like Alan has become like one of those dudes. It's like kind of that same connection. It's like as soon as they mention like, "Oh, he does jiu-jitsu," it's like, "Oh, word." That's all I need to hear. And he's not coming to the party this year. Just it costs a lot. He was like, financially, it's crippling. We're trying to buy a home. I was like, that's cool. I get you. But he came up last year, and he came and hung out with us at our house. He came over to the gym and trained, and it was just one of those things where it's like, this is my buddy now. Like this is my dude. Plus he likes American football, so we talk a little bit of shit there. I was like, oh my goodness, I think we're brothers now. We're both bald. We both wear glasses. We both do jiu-jitsu. I mean, I'm a little darker than you, but I was the one that got in the sun more.
I don't know. Maybe he's albino.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, but yeah, when you find those connections, whether it be, you know, you know, through, jujitsu or whatever it might be, it's like almost automatic. It's like, all right, you at least have that foot in the door. It's like, all right, your people's with me so far, and then
Yeah.
once you
Or,
roll and fight, then it
yeah.
becomes a whole different thing.
Yeah, but this actually happened there last year. So I knew this girl from online. So what's it? She was a fan of my coach for years because my coach Tom is one of the best guys in Ireland. He's a very high level guy in Europe. So lots of people are aware of him. Lots of people know him. Like, and when he opened, like I've known him since I started training. He himself, when he opened up the gym we all train at there 2 years ago. So I, train full time under him now. And what's it? This girl saw that I trained under him, and she's like, "Okay, I guess I'll follow him because like this is a very rough retelling. It's a very abridged retelling. Sorry. Oh, I guess I'll follow him because like I was like, oh, she's reposting Tom stuff. I'll follow her. All this stuff, grand out. And then like we just how you be sharing stuff. People are liking it, and we're talking. So we became pretty friendly with each other. And I'm just like, here, do you want to just come over for like a week to Ireland to train with us the whole time? Big grand. And she's like, yeah, sure. But that's pretty pretty funny. It's like, oh yeah, I've never met this person, but they do the same sport as me. So I'm going to go over to another country and just stay at them for a week and train with them. It's like, grand. That just sounds pretty. I can just imagine. I can imagine her just say like, oh yeah, I'm going over to stay in Ireland for a week with this guy I've never met. And it just people like, wait, what? That sounds pretty bad. Don't do that.
I think it only works though in jiu-jitsu. Well, I want to say only in jiu-jitsu, but it works in jiu-jitsu though, because like just the way the community is. And I know, there's like, some, sketchiness to some, places, but overall, for the most part, it's like everyone that I've encountered in this community has been on the up and up, like minus like two people out of like the thousands that I've met. It's like everybody's been like, it's like, oh yeah, like I trust this person. It's like, well, how do you trust this person? I mean, well, we both do jujitsu. We've chatted online. Like, I mean, like Tiana, she's an example where it's like, and honestly, even like, through her, I'm aware of you, so and that was part of like, the reach out, because it's like, well, she's always like had good things to say about you, so
It's actually
I'm gonna go
funny,
ahead
man.
and reach out.
I was talking to her the other day, reminiscing because I actually went and trained with her, visited her. Just the same things like 2 years ago. And what's it called? I remember we were talking about our role, and we rolled a few times that week. But man, just remember this really funny story. So we were rolling, and I had her in crucifix, and she like, you try to slide your elbow out this way or turn and get chest to chest, and people have you in crucifix. And man, she elbowed me right in the fucking balls. And I was just folded. And that was my last roll on my last day. And I was just folded because, okay, man, we've all been kicked in the balls, but I think nothing can compare to a fucking good, proper elbow into the balls. I'm like, oh my God. Like I was agonizing.
It's like, here's something to remember me by.
I know it wasn't on purpose. It's just because we were scrambling, but I'm like, oh my Lord, my fucking balls.
Like, well, it's funny because like I know I'm the only person at the gym. I wear a cup, and people are like, "Why you wear a cup?" It's like, it's a hobby for me, dude. My balls are not, and I don't compete. So it's like, because they're like, well, if you compete, you can't wear a cup. It's like, I know that's part of why I don't compete. I love my balls, so like I don't like and there are a few people, they know that I wear a cup, so they use the cup as kind of like a leverage point, like when they're like knee cutting. And it's like, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Well, no, it's fine. It's not bothering me. It's just like what if I forgot my cup this day? You just decided, hey, we're cutting through, like, but and I think the one time I did forget my cup, I got punched directly in the nuts. And it was like a super fluky thing. Like, I'm not even sure how it happened. And I was like, you know what? Of course, what happened today? Of course.
Typical, as we say. But man, yeah, that's just a cosmic anomaly. It's like it's just a phenomenon where you'd have the mouth guard, you'd have like wrestling ear pads, you'd have knee braces or whatever extra gear you wear. Then the second you don't have it, something happens. Like you could have the mouth guard for ages and ages and ages, and nothing would ever happen. But then the second you don't wear it, you get a smack right in the mouth and you break your tooth. It's amazing. Like I've never broken my tooth. It's like I've been training for 8 years and I've never actually gotten injured that badly to warrant getting time off or get surgery. I was like, it's a miracle.
Yeah, so I've had 2 injuries, nothing major. Like I separated my rib during a scramble once, and that shit, like I thought it was the end. I didn't know what was going on. I just heard a pop and felt this sharp pain in my ribs. I was like, yo, did I just get shot? What the fuck is going on, dude? And then another injury I had was a groin injury.
Ooh.
I want to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. Like I'm playing lasso, or actually a spider guard, and a teammate, he puts his foot into like the crook of my leg, like the knee, the knee pit, and he goes to yank, the grip away, and just kind of the push and pull. And again, I hear a pop and a shooting pain right through my groin, and it was not good. And groins are weird because the injuries, it feels like it's healed, and it is not healed. I was like, after a month, I was like, I think I'm good to go. Cool. I was not good. I was far from good. I think that happened in April, and I don't think I was ready to get back on the mat comfortably until September. I also didn't go to the doctor either. So my coach was like, "Did you go see the doctor yet?" And I was like, nah. Like, I don't know if you know. Like,
no wonder women live longer.
Well, I mean, my doctor, last time I went in, he was like, "Hey, you're pre-diabetic," and I was like, "Really?" And going back to this dude, like all you guys, all you saying is negative stuff, dude. I'm not coming back.
Sure, so. The other doctor doesn't know you're pre-diabetic, so you can go to him. It's fine.
It's like, yeah, we're looking at your blood work. It looks like you're pre-diabetic. Well, I mean, technically, we're all pre-diabetic, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like we're not really there yet.
I just imagine you breaking up with your doctors. Like, there's plenty of doctors in the sea, so go fuck yourself.
Actually, the doctor that I had prior, she trained jiu-jitsu. Like I picked her because she was a sports medicine doctor. And then when I actually went in for one of my I think probably my first appointment, we get to talk, and she asked if there are any activities that I partake in that could be, hazardous on my body. I was like, well, I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so where do you train? As soon as she said it that way, I was like, oh, like what's going on?
Like, awesome. I got one of the cool doctors who will prescribe me stuff under the table. I got a cool doctor.
Yeah. Well, she gave me some muscle relaxers for my hip, which was a fucking mistake. Well, like user error, because I took. All right, so I'm just gonna explain here. I don't do bright things all the time, and sometimes one of those not bright things might be taking a muscle relaxer while you're driving. Now, to be fair, I thought I would be home in 10 minutes. So I would be home in plenty of time for it to kick in, and then I could chill. There was a traffic reroute, and I had basically it extended my time by 15 minutes. And the muscle relaxer hit me while I'm driving. And I'm at a stoplight trying to make a left turn. And I ended up making the turn into the wrong lane. And I'm driving. I saw a van driving towards me. I was like, holy shit. I backed up, and I took a back road home, just squeezing the steering wheel, like terrified. As soon as I got in the house, I just laid right on the floor. Opened the door, laid down, kicked the door closed. And when my wife came home, she's trying to open the door. So she clearly thought there was a corpse on the other end. But so it's not my doctor's fault. My doctor did the right thing. I did not.
So it's a skill issue.
Yes. I mean, I love that doctor. She was awesome. Like, I could email her whenever I would have an injury. It was like, hey, so this happened. She's like, all right, do these stretches. You'll be all right. And she was right. So then, after I had to leave that insurance, I ended up with this. So this is where this is about to take a really weird turn, and just let me cook. All right. So I'm very specific about doctors that I pick.
All right.
Sports medicine doctors, specifically. If I can't get a sports medicine doctor, I also look for doctors that are small in stature.
Okay.
Specifically with little hands.
All right.
Because there's a certain point in your life where they're going to have to do a prostate exam. And I am ahead of the game. So I want someone with little bitty hands. If you got to put a finger in there, I want it to be a little one. So
it's fair enough.
I looked up this doctor, nice guy. He like you can see their like kind of personal stuff. So it's like he's a gamer. Like this guy seems like my kind of guy. So I picked this guy. I'm excited because I got my guy. There's a little Asian doctor, and I show up for my first appointment with this doctor, physical, and the doctor that walks in is this ginormous dude. And his hands look like a fucking catcher's mitts. And the only thing I could focus on were his hands, because now I'm terrified. I'm just thinking to myself, this is not going to be good. Like, so, spoiler alert, he didn't have to do the exam because I was making sure, because I was watching if he went for gloves. Because if he went for gloves, we're gonna have to have a real talk. He was also the one that said I was pre-diabetic. So I was like, look, first off, you're not even the guy I picked. Now you're giving me like negative news and you got big ass hands. I'm out of here, like, dude.
Here, man. It's like, dude, it's like, man, you didn't look like this in your fucking profile. You know, like, fuck you.
And why the fuck your hands so big? Like, I was terrified. I was just like, oh man, I don't want this dude probing me. Like,
oh man,
like. So yeah, like that's just, again, I am preemptively, choosing these doctors based on the size of their hands, because I need little bitty hands, because you never know. You never know. You might go in one day and they say, hey, we gotta check you out, dude, because you're at that age. And I think my grandma did tell me that you can politely decline. So I'm gonna try that out. Like, so go ahead and grip the table. Hey, so I was told no means no. So I just want to put that out there, buddy.
A great way for them to not want to do it is just you say the second they put the gloves on, like, I do jiu-jitsu. They're like, okay, grand, you can leave.
It's like,
just hit them with just hit them with the speech. Is like, do you remember? Okay, you're familiar with as a man of today's day and age, I assume you're familiar with the samurai culture of ancient Japan, right?
Yes.
All right. So you know the score with why the samurais would scream out. They'd give you the whole speech before you fought them. Oh, my name is Hajime Ginzai. I fucking reclaimed the land with the Ashina. Oh my god, I've slayed 1,000 people with my heavenly strike or something or whatever. They give you the whole speech. So then, if you kill someone, oh, this guy said he was Hajime Ginza and he fucking claimed you get some money for killing him. So you could give them the speech like, oh, I'm fucking Jake. I'm a 2-stripe blue belt under this guy who beat that guy. I swept fucking brown belt Jimmy one time and I won silver at Naga Worlds. You hit them with the whole speech at the doctor's office, and then they'd be like, okay, buddy, you can leave, go get out of here. I'm not being your doctor anymore.
Yeah, I actually could see him doing that. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like ask you to leave now. Like, oh, why? You're fucking weird. That's why. Fuck here.
I'm not weird. I just appreciate the Japanese culture, man. Said every white guy who's fucking weird.
Like, I just see him just kicking me out, and I just walk out, pants still around my ankle. Like, all right, thanks. It was like, and then he just goes, that confirms it right there. Fucking weird guy. Like, should we bill him?
No, let's just never. I don't want to hear from this fucker ever again. So let's just. I'll eat the cost on that. That actually reminds me of this one meme. Is like, boss is like, oh, I'm afraid you're fired, and your man is like, me watching half guard instructions instead of fucking working. Pauses. Why? Why?
That's actually, well, I didn't get fired, but the current job that I'm at, I was in training for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something. And the training was just basically sitting there watching a bunch of videos, and you're there for 8 hours technically. Like, but I found out like at the end of it all, oh, you could have just left when you're done with your videos. I was like, you fucks. But I would sit there and just look at jiu-jitsu stuff on my phone. And my hiring manager, she comes in. I was like, what are you doing? I looked up what that like puzzle looked like. What? Like, huh? I'm not in the wrong.
I'm not doing nothing, man. I ain't doing
I mean, I'm done with my training, so I'm just chilling now. Like, you ain't got nothing else for me to do. Well, you can start the other training. Nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm studying. Fuck on my face.
Was I training to be trained? Like, man, fuck out of here.
Yeah. Like, you told me to do these 3 videos today, and I did these 3 videos. And then I find out at the end, like, from other staff members, like, oh, you could have just left when you finished the videos. They're not even clocking you. I was like, well, fuck. Wish I would have known that. Like,
why doesn't anyone tell you these fucking things?
I sat there for like an extra fucking 4 hours, like a fucking doof. I got paid to look at jiu-jitsu videos, so I guess so. It works.
Yeah, it could be worse. Sure, man. I used to work in a factory, and it was 12-hour shifts, and I used to listen to audiobooks and watch jiu-jitsu stuff on my break. But it was very chill, very relaxed. I did fucking no work, man. It was ridiculous, or very little work. And sure, all my work was done, so it didn't matter that I'd be goofing off all day. I did what I was supposed to. But I would be listening to audiobooks and stuff and jiu-jitsu podcasts all day. So I'm like, yeah, they're literally paying me to listen to fucking BJJ mental models and stuff. So fuck them.
Yeah, that's how I always look at it with any of my jobs. I tend to have like periods where I can like be. Well, most of the time I'm driving anyway at work now, so I'm listening to podcasts. I think was it Thursday? I actually edited one of my podcasts. Like, I just, I had like a period where I didn't have anybody. It was just myself. So I sat in my van and did an hour like playback. And I was like, well, I can like listen to this while I drive to my next location. So, I just kept the earbuds in and let it run, because the edit wasn't like anything where I had to cut stuff out. It was just, I know there was a point where the computer died. So I knew it was like, I'm going to have to get to that point and clean that up. But otherwise, I was like, oh, so they're just basically paying me right now to edit my own podcast. I never thought there'd be a point in my life where I would get paid to like do a podcast. And there it was. I was getting paid to edit my work.
That's sure. It all worked out in the end. They don't need to know that. They don't need to know. It's a need-to-know basis.
Yeah. Like,
as they say.
I don't let anyone at work know that I have any kind of podcast. So I do talk about the horror podcast. I let them like, hey, I watch scary movies, which I feel like that might be the one that's problematic. I was like, you watch scary movies before bed? I mean, yeah, like, yeah. You gotta go. Like
they're like, well, you say to them back, it's like, well, do you read bedtime stories before you go to bed? They're like, yeah, well, you need to go.
Yeah, fuck out my face, man. Like, well, what kind of scary movies do you watch before bed? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I watched the fucking Human Centipede the other night. It was a little weird, but I mean, I went right to sleep. I was like, yeah,
good for you, man. I sleep. My fucking relationship with the concept of sleep is fucking up bad enough without adding human centipedes into it. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's usually like at 2 a.m. because like I usually put movies on at that point because it's like I need to lull myself to sleep by this point. I'm not tired, but I'll put some shit on that I've seen a million times. And it's like, okay, this ought to do it, but I can't put on a new movie at 2 a.m. because now I'm intrigued and I gotta know how it ends. So
yeah, I don't really like watching new movies and stuff. I'm very set in my ways and just watch the same shit I watch all the time. Really,
I fucks with that. I mean, if I didn't have the horror movie podcast, I don't know that I would watch any new horror. I'd probably just watch all the shit I've always ever watched, which I still kind of do.
I don't really fuck with horror movies, man. I'm such a raging fucking pussy when it comes to that. Like, it's not even like I get scared. I'll just be up thinking about it all night. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, that fucking bastard. Do you know what I mean? Or like, what's it? Or the South Korean horror stuff. I've never once ever watched one of those South Korean horror movies. Like, nope, that'll scar me.
Those are the ones that, if there's anything that fucks with me, it's usually any of the Japanese or Korean horror films. They just have a way of doing it different that keeps me up thinking, and it's like,
Yeah.
like, why'd they have to do it that way though? Like, there's any other way to kill that person, and they did it that way.
Yeah, man. Here, it's making the Saw movies look pretty fucking tame in comparison.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, though, like when it comes to work, they know about that podcast. They don't know about the other two, because it's like, I don't want them hearing the beer review one, because it's just we just get really, really silly there. And then this one is usually pretty tamed. I just don't really feel like I use Jake Dante on social media because I don't want my coworkers to find me. So it's like, I don't want them like, oh, you have a podcast, then, oh, Jake Dante, let's go find Jake Dante. Not that I'm that fucking important, but there's always a higher up that sneaks in, and then I repost a lot of memes, and a lot of them, or they're fine, but then there's every so often there's a Danny Patrick meme that I might repost that might not be okay for my boss to see, but I still think it's hilarious.
Glorious, man. I remember, man, he used to have he hasn't posted in a while, but he used to have some really funny fucking memes.
Yeah, I had him on the podcast once because I was just like, I gotta sit down and talk with this dude, and it was every bit of the treat that I thought it could be. Like, we didn't even open the podcast properly. Like, we were just talking, like, I just got to hit record because like I'm not gonna get this dude to like chill, and it's just the stories he was telling. I was like the stories that he would tell were just like the captions he would write for his memes. It's like, Jesus,
that's fair enough.
It's like, holy shit, like he's in New York City, so it's like, yeah, this, like, he's living like an adventure every day, just with all the fucking folks up there. So
yeah,
but
I nearly went to New York once, but glad I dodged that, because I don't think I could have dealt with that shit.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I think I went there for the first time. My wife was a nanny, and the family that she worked for lived down here in Maryland, but they were from New York, and they were going to move back to New York. So she would go out Monday through Friday, or Sunday through Thursday with them or whatever, and then she'd come back home for the weekends. And then there's one week she wanted me to come up, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I go up, and it was so intense. I was like, holy shit, I don't know if I could do this. But then the family offered her, they're like, look, we want to bring you and your fiance. Were we married? We might have been married by this point. Like, we want to bring you and your husband up, and we'll pay for everything, and da da da. I was like, and I look at my wife, I was like, we can do it if you want to. I'll get over my shit. And she declined because she didn't want to live in the city. It was just a lot going on. And she was at that point, was like, I want to start a family soon. So I don't want to raise a child in New York City. I was like, that's fair.
100 fucking %, man.
Yeah.
There's giant rats and pigeons and homeless people on the streets of New York.
Yeah. I mean, the rats are the size of, like, a fucking puppy. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, like, is that a rat or a dog? It's like that. Yeah. I don't know which one. Just run. Like, don't
Plus, man, all the really aggressive street performers you get there as well. It's like, here, no thanks, I don't want to be dealing with them.
Like, I do like that we walked everywhere. Where we live, like, the walkability score is fucking low. So everywhere that we have to go up here, you have to drive to it. Whereas like New York is like, everything was like walkable, and I loved it. And I was like, dude, I like being able to just step out the door, even though like the comic shop I wanted to go to was like fucking 20 blocks away or some shit. It was an easy walk. It was like, oh my God, this is like we just hit the city and walked all day. And it was like, this fucking feels right. But like living there, raising a kid, probably not the best thing for us, at least.
Yeah. Well, here, man, could be worse. You could go to New Jersey.
And we did that once. I came back smelling like garbage for like 3 days. So God damn it. I don't know if I think I have Jersey listeners. My bad, y'all.
I'm only
Like
messing. Is like, I just heard that's a thing. Is like people just talk shit about New Jersey. So I'm like, I guess I'll do that.
it's the armpit of America. Um
Here, man. Two words. Two words. Descriptively accurate. Stole that from Danaher. So descriptively accurate.
I actually enjoyed my time in Jersey. We went to Ocean City, New Jersey. I enjoyed the beach. It was really, really fun. Very, very cool. I didn't fuck with the traffic very much. There was like fucking hated driving there. I couldn't wait to get home. But Jersey was fine. It's just, like honestly, I'd rather go there than New York City because again, it was just too chaotic. Jersey is just they don't know how to drive. So,
Mm.
I feel like if people in New York were driving, they probably wouldn't know how to do it either. So fuck them.
Here, to be fair, I've heard some horror stories about the fucking what's it called, getting over bridges and the tolls and stuff. I was like, here, man, that irks me. Like toll bridges and stuff. It's like, man, we're in the same country, and we're like, I know you're going cross state, but come on, man, what are you doing? There's no need for this shit. Or we have some in Ireland. We have like a bunch of tolls. Like there's like 4 provinces. There's like so there's it's mainly like on the motorway when you're crossing from one province to another. But I still resent it as like, here, man, we get taxed a lot here, so the road's been paid for. So they've literally just handed it the motorway off to like a private company just to do the tolls and stuff. It's like, man, it's not even about like paying. It's like I'm going into a whole other tangent here. It's like the road's paid for. Like when they first built the fucking motorway and the freeway or whatever you want to call it, their logic for having the tolls there was, oh yeah, we got to pay for it again. We got to pay for it all. And I was like, fine, but sorry, it's been paid for. So why do we need the tolls?
Yeah, that I always look at that. When we talk about our roads here, like you're paying the tolls, and it's like, what's to repair the roads? And it's like, son, like, like these roads aren't repaired, and I've been giving
Yeah,
y'all a lot of money. Fix this shit.
just like here, I'm just saying, man, fucking same thing in Ireland. Like I live in the countryside, like it's not too far from the city. Like, it's about it's not that far, but there's 2 giant potholes on the way in here. I'm like, here, it keeps same one. It keeps respawning. It's like, oh, it's like a Cyberman. It just keeps popping his fucking head back up again. It's like, oh yeah, I'm back. It's like the same
It,
exact one. It's not a new one.
there's like a certain point where it's like, look, we see that this is a problem. Maybe we should figure out why it's a problem. I don't know. Maybe just rip the whole shit up
Hmm.
and fucking redo it. But then that'll justify them like hitting you with more tolls and raising the prices and shit. So
Yeah, but God help you if you go fix it yourself, because then they'll fucking fine you and say, "Oh, only someone from the fucking city council is allowed to fix the pothole." And I was like, "Man, well, you weren't fixing it, so what do you want from me?"
yeah, I mean sometimes maybe that's what you need to do. Our
Hmm.
high school football coach, he was a student at our school, before he became a teacher there.
Hmm.
And there's this during the games they built well, this is after he graduated, I guess, but like they built like this deck above the stands,
Okay.
and it was not very stable. It's like very dangerous, as a matter of fact. So the school was like, oh no, like this is a dangerous structure. So they tore it down and built like another one there. It was like, oh, this shit was supposed to be there in the first place, but I guess the way they saw it was like, they actually kind of did us a favor. They gave us an idea, like let's just go do it right. So maybe there's like some logic to trying to fix it yourself, and they're like this is actually kind of like not good, but here's an
Or
idea.
that actually reminds me. Sorry. There was this guy in London, and there, obviously it's a major city in the UK, so there's a lot of traffic. So obviously potholes would happen because come on, it's a very busy city, a lot of cars, a lot of people doing this and that. Fair enough. Potholes happen. But this one guy took umbrage with the fact that the potholes weren't getting fixed in a timely manner. So he decided to start spray painting penises on the outline of the potholes because if people were coming and not getting rid of the graffiti and not fixing the pothole, they'd look very dumb. Plus, they were doing that for a bit, but he'd just come back and spray paint around it again and again and again and again and again until they fixed it. And he was affectionately nicknamed Wanksy. Like the artist Banksy.
Like he figured out, he beat the system. He was like,
hey,
look,
man, that's seeming more and more tempting every day of the week. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you do some shit like that over here, and like, they'll find some way to, like, fuck you over with it. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do is, like, I think they just built a traffic circle out here,
like a roundabout.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck just happened there. There's like a burp that felt like shit was coming back up with it. I haven't eaten I had a muffin.
Oh, here, man. It's a bad day when a man can't trust the burp. Fair enough, you don't trust the fart, but you can't trust the burp. Like, what's the world coming to?
What did I eat the other day? I had it like a sandwich. I guess maybe I didn't chew up all my food. I don't know, but I burped. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I chewed it some more and then just finished it off. But I mean, it seemed fine. It didn't taste like, stomach acid. It tastes like the sandwich still. It's like, all right. I mean, we're still in a good place.
It was edible enough.
Yeah. It's like, sure, my wife's just looking at me like, you're like a fucking Cocker Spaniel right now. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Here, man, Cocker Spaniels are a great fucking dog. Like, that's a compliment, if anything.
I agree. I mean, I've been around for 25 years. I mean, so clearly, I'm doing a good job, I think. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe she likes the action figures too. She's like, I keep them here for the action figures. Andrew, thank you for doing this. Before we get out of here real quick, do you got any shout outs or mentions you want to leave the listeners with?
Just shout out. I have my Instagram, just the Limerick Globtrotter. I have my Humans Jiu-Jitsu account. I don't post on there that much anymore. If you want to follow the podcast, Humans Jiu-Jitsu Podcast, it's on Spotify. I'm not sure if it's on Apple Podcasts. I'm just 100% sure it's on Spotify. Shout out to my gym, 3D Grappling, and my sponsors, Crank BJJ. Again, making some good gear in Ireland for all the Irish lads. And yeah, guys, if you're ever in Ireland, give us a text and you come train with us, whatever suits. And thanks again, Jake. You're the fucking man. Who's the fuck?
Thank you. And thank you for doing this. And thank you to the listeners. Y'all got any questions, feel free to reach out. You can find me at bjj.wiki on Instagram or Off the Mats Podcast also on Instagram. And just as we're wrapping up here and getting out of here, I'm not going to leave y'all with the other shout outs because y'all know them. I do them every episode. So y'all know who we shouting out here. You know that I love you guys. So as always, thank you. Go leave a review. It helps us out in the algorithm. So we do appreciate it. But otherwise, thank you. You know what it is. You guys keep listening. And we're going to definitely keep making these shows. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
They were with it. Now let me sing a song.